I thought that high school was going to be eons better than middle school was. But after my first week as a freshman, I realized it was just school. Regular old school. I quickly fell into the routine of high school. Classes, homework, tests, papers, late nights chugging Red Bull and coffee. I was going through the motions and I was disengaged from everything except school and friends. I would sit in a classroom, looking at my desk, looking at my teacher, looking at my classmates and think, I sat in this exact spot yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and I'll be here tomorrow, and the day after that. I was going through the motions, but I wasn't present. I can't count the number of times a teacher, friend, or parent would ask me a question and I would say, what? Or, huh? My way of asking them to repeat themselves because I was so in my head and wasn't listening. While I hadn't planned on it, I auditioned for my school's improv team freshman year. The girl who was giving me a ride home that day was, and I was stuck at school until she finished. I decided I had nothing better to do, tried out, and surprisingly made the team. The kind of improv we do is similar to the show Whose Line Is It Anyway? For instance, the teammates will ask the audience for suggestions based on a question like, what's something that can fit in the palm of my hand? And then, as a team, we perform a scene on the spot based off the audience's suggestion. To be good at improv, you need to have confidence, be adaptable, and most importantly, you need to be an excellent listener. And with all my whats and hons, I needed work. I think listening is the most important skill to do great improv. Great listening can change a scene from very good to amazing. Each team has 4 players and starts with 2 people. The other 2 people have to listen very carefully to find just the right time to come in. This can be difficult. If they miss a moment, they may never get in. When I'm doing a scene with my teammates, it's like there's a string attached to each of us, keeping us all together. We are deeply connected. I am listening to everything that they're saying, and I can't be thinking about my response until they're done. And then I only have a second to respond. At first, this was extremely stressful, and I didn't think I could do it. So I would try to plan out what I was going to say. Okay, I thought, they'll probably say this, and I'll respond with that. The problem was that most of the time they didn't say this, so my response was worthless. With practice, I began to just listen, not worrying about what my response was going to be. And then things started to change for me when I performed. I began to go on stage with a blank mind, trusting myself to just listen. And you know what? I was getting funnier. Our team practices twice a week, and there'd have to be a blizzard in Southern California to make me miss practice. And since there aren't blizzards here, I basically go to every practice. Good improv is magical, but being good at improv isn't a given. You need to practice. We spend our time doing warm-up and improv exercises, making each other laugh with a witty joke or a funny voice. We collaborate. But most importantly, we practice listening to each other. We leave little breadcrumbs for each other so everyone can be funny. We build off each other's energy. If someone comes in with super high energy, the next person may come in with lower than normal energy, just to create the drama, the contrast, or to level things off. We listen to each other and craft a unique one-time only scene that will make everyone laugh. It's a very safe environment. We have an unspoken understanding that practice is a place to experiment. Sometimes things don't go well, and that's okay. These practices are my oasis. If I get a bad grade on a test, don't get cast in the role I wanted, or have friends that are fighting, I can't wait to go to practice where I can be distracted from whatever's weighing me down. With these people, I can let go of everything happening in my life and mess around a little bit. Practice is a place for me to go and not feel judged or graded anymore. It's a place where everything doesn't have to be okay all the time, like you have to pretend it is in life. You'd be amazed how quickly a 4-minute scene can give you a break from the worries in your life. Doing improv is certainly very different than any other type of performance, like sketch writing, plays, stand-up, etc. These performers come prepared with their lines and jokes and listen for laughs. Improv actors just listen. You can't memorize improv. When I'm in a scene with my team, I don't have time to say what or huh when someone talks to me. I have to be fully present, fully engaged, and ready to jump in and add on to what my team is saying. And my team needs to listen to me. After performances, I often get the compliment that it seems like you guys are reading each other's minds, like we're all in one hive mind together. We aren't, we're just listening. But the biggest compliment I get is when someone says, you guys wrote that right, you didn't improvise, did you? When our scene works just perfectly and the storyline pulls together, I know that we were all listening to every word that was being said. I see these performances as these amazing experiences that will only be experienced in the moment. They will never again be recreated, just like conversations can't be recreated. You can't remember exactly what or just how you said something, and jokes are never as funny as when they're said in the moment. I am in awe of how improv works. I'll be watching my teammates do a scene. It's hilarious. I can't believe someone just said that. It was perfect and perfectly delivered. I think to myself, this scene is never going to happen again. Improv scenes live between the performers and their audience. The audience member's suggestion is crucial to the direction of the scene. Together, the performers create the characters, the world, and the story. At one performance, the audience was asked to provide emotions. Their response? Discombobulated. Since vocabulary isn't on the SAT anymore, no one on stage knew what discombobulated meant. But one of our mottos is, take it as you will to any suggestion, so they did. The scene was moving along pretty vanilla. The audience was just waiting for what they would come up with for discombobulated. And then one of our performers saw an opportunity that changed everything. All of a sudden, she kicked down the door and said, "Hey, it's me, Disco Bob." To say the least, I have never laughed harder in my life. The audience was roaring with laughter. In that moment, I saw improv touch people in the same way it touches me. It's these amazing moments of brilliance, wit, and creativity that keep me coming back for more, so I never want to miss a practice or a performance. Unfortunately for me, my mom uses these practices as incentives for me to do my chores because I'll do anything to make sure I don't miss. Instead of saying, if you don't do the dishes, you can't go to your friend's house this weekend, she'll say, if you don't do the dishes, you can't go to practice this week, and I would do the dishes every single time. Being present for these moments with my team has kept me going throughout high school. What I've learned through improv is exactly what I need to start doing more of in my life. I've learned that I can't be 1 or 2 steps ahead of my teammates. I miss out on things when I stop listening and spend time anticipating what will be said. This might sound familiar, and that's because it's just like having a normal conversation. Ideally, you listen to what someone says and you respond directly to that. But when there's 10 things going on at the same time, it's hard to turn off everything else just to listen to someone who's talking with you. What or huh doesn't cut it. Doing improv has taught me to listen, be present, and it's worth tuning out the distractions to tune into others. One day, I was working on college essays at home after possibly the longest 8-hour shift at work. I was tired, overwhelmed, and frustrated. My brain was frazzled, and that definitely doesn't help when you're trying to write the essays that will determine the rest of your life. I was writing and writing and writing when my best friend called me. I, of course, answered and said that I was busy. She says, wait. Let's go for a drive. I say, are you crazy? After a little bit of convincing, I gave in and she picked me up. My mom probably would have preferred that I stayed home and work on my essays, but I seriously needed a break. We drove around for only about 45 minutes, but it seemed like forever. We drove around and I realized that in 1 year, I will have moved away and started a whole new life at a brand new school with brand new people. And that terrifies me. But at that moment, I felt wonderful, safe, and happy sitting next to my best friend. We listened to our favorite songs, Come Live With Me by Heaven 17 and some old Selena Gomez. We saw the familiar sights of our hometown, the familiar sounds and smells. We talked. I don't think either one of us said what or huh the entire time. We were truly listening to each other and enjoying being together. And you know what? I got home and wrote the most kick-butt essay. It takes work and sacrifice to be present. I've missed out on so many things because I wasn't present. The whats or huhs may restart a conversation when I wasn't listening, but let's face it, that's a buzzkill for the person starting the conversation. Good improv can pull you into another world, but it can also keep you grounded in your own. It's kept me grounded in my own, at least, even when I felt the most lost. Thank you.